Hey Internet, my name is Abby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on Wings. We are now in the third season of my Let's Play series, and wow, this is crazy and this is really special to me. And well, as a short recap at first, the first season was all about airplanes and space planes, and it was also the time as I just have started creating Let's Plays, so it was completely strange to me to sit in front of my computer and just talk to gameplay. And so yeah, the first episodes were a little bit strange, and then over time I got used, and with episode 31 I started the second season, and the second season was a career season, so I started a new save game and I started to make my way through the tech tree by performing experiments and gathering science points to unlock technologies, and I think it was quite successful. And after I finished unlocking all the different components, I decided to explore all the different celestial bodies of the Kerbal system, and I just returned from the last interplanetary mission, and now it's time to start the third season. And the third season I will call the building season because wait, wow, this is cool. This is a great picture. We can see the sunrise, the sun has just risen, and wow, this is a cool picture. I like this a lot. This is great. Okay, yeah, the building season because I like to expand the presence of my Kerbonauts in the Kerbal system. And well, at first, we do have our asteroid. GWD-694 orbiting around the moon in an altitude of 200 kilometers, and I like to fly out some components, and I like to create some kind of space station around the moon attached to the asteroid. And well, I think this is a great first start into the building season. And then, speaking about asteroids, there are different classes of asteroids. We do have a size class D, a large asteroid, then a class C. I think we have captured a class C, a class A, a class B, and even a class E. And well, I'm not quite sure if I like to capture all the different classes or if I just like to fly out a probe core and attach a probe core to these asteroids and then follow their trajectory around the sun. I think this could be also a nice project to just see how the asteroids are flying around. And well, I think this is also a nice idea. Or I will capture them and store them around Minmus also. So yeah, a lot of ideas for asteroids. And then I think the final or the main objective for the building season is to build a science station around Dune, and even to build a base on the surface of Dune, so that we do have some kind of base camp with this science compartment where we can reset our science instruments, and yeah, so that we can use maybe a rover or some kind of space plane, airplane thingy for the thin atmosphere of Dune to fly around and to fly out to the South Pole and the North Pole to explore these parts of Dune. And maybe depending on the release schedule of Squad, we even have different biomes once we are so far, and once we have our base on the surface of Dune, so that there are different biomes on all the different celestial bodies, and then we have to start over exploring all the different celestial bodies once again, and we have to come up with maybe a rover or so that we can explore all the different biomes. And yeah, I think this could be the main goal for our building season. And speaking about rovers, I'm also thinking about driving around at the South Pole with a rover, but then I saw at the first issue that, well, reaching the South Pole is pretty complicated because between Kerbal Space Center and the South Pole is a huge ocean, and so I can't go directly there. The only way would be to drive up to the North Pole, drive all around Kerbin in order to come down to the South Pole. And so I thought it would be much more or it would be really cool if I would be able to fly out with an airplane over there and deploy the rover. And then I thought it would be much more spectacular if I would be able to deploy the rover while flying, so that the rover can descend on a parachute. And so I need to create some kind of carrier plane, and this is the first idea of a carrier plane I like to try out now. So let me just enable the interface in order to open the cargo bay. And well, I can open up the cargo bay, And our payload is not a bomb, it's a probe, it's a test probe. It's a probe core and a battery and some fuel and an engine and a parachute, and I will just deploy this while flying. And over time, I will extend, or I will increase the capabilities of this airplane so that finally it will be able to carry around a rover, so that we are able to fly out a rover to the South Pole and land it down there. And I think, yeah, this is also a great idea, and it's also a great thing for our building season. So let me now close the cargo bay and then start our flight. And speaking about the flight, as I returned with one of my interplanetary missions, I saw this beautiful river coming from the mountains leading down to the ocean, and I like to explore this. And I think a good idea to explore this would be by airplane. So after we have deployed our payload, we will fly out there and have an interesting flight through the canyon of the river. And yeah, I'm also looking forward to this. And well, the last thing, which is, wait, let me get closer to myself once again. And the most important thing also while deploying the payload is, while something is descending from on a parachute, if you are more than 2 or 3 kilometers away from it, it will just disappear. So we need to fly around our payload while it's descending on a parachute. In order to keep it alive. And as soon as the thing has landed, we will start our flight out to the river and explore the river. And yeah, so this is now my main goal. Let me now prepare the airplane. Let me switch on the lights. Let me enable SAS. Let me release the brakes. And let me start the engines. Okay, I think we are ready. So, full throttle. Full throttle. Here we go. Here we go. For our first flight in the new season, I'm really happy. I'm so happy about. And I think this idea of a building season and expanding the presence of our Kerbonaut in the Kerbal system is really a great idea and a great project. And I hope you will like this as well, because I'm really looking forward to this, building new things. And it's not so much about performing these huge interplanetary missions and exploring different celestial bodies. No, it's more about engineering and coming up with great ideas. So I think this is really great. And now let me just fly straight ahead. I have reduced my thrust right away because 2 engines is really powerful. And now I like to fly around. And okay, I think we are in a good position. So payload away. Let me switch to it and parachute out. No, not this thing. Now we need to turn around immediately, because we need to... The explosion we just heard were the separators that crashed into the ground. And now we need to turn around immediately in order to stay close to our payload so that it's not disappearing. Now let me... No, not this. Let me... this is exciting. I like to close the cargo bay. Okay. And yeah, the parachutes have fully deployed. It's hard to see. Okay, we need to turn around. And yeah, this is basically the main challenge of our flight while deploying something, because we, as I said, we need to stick pretty close to the landing area, otherwise it will just despawn, and this would be bad if our rover then would despawn. So this is now a good practice session. Ooh, don't crash into the surface. Okay, the shadow is great. The shadow is great of our parachute and our drop plane probe. Okay, I hope it will land soon so that we can start our flight out. Okay, the parachute has disappeared. The drop plane probe is now successfully landed. We will come back later to this once we return. And now it's about flying out to the river and exploring the river. And well, let me now throttle way up, full thrust. Now we need to fly out to the river, and I think I will also ascend to high altitudes or higher altitudes in order to fly a little bit faster. And well, this airplane, this is really powerful, And so I hope I can stick with this 2-engine construction, or maybe I have even to add 4 engines for the purpose of the rover transportation. Because, well, this thing is really powerful. It can ascend very high. It has a very high cruising speed. So this is really great. And this would be also great for deploying our rover out there, because here it's quite a distance. If we can see, we are here, and we need basically to fly around 1/4 of full Kerbin to arrive at the South Pole. And well, yeah, I think this is really a great project. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And this was already a good example how we can deploy something, and I like this a lot. And well, speaking about the rover, I'm not quite sure if I'm then able to even use the payload bay, because the payload bay is pretty small and I think the rover is much larger. So maybe I have to come up with a construction, maybe with some girders or so, where the rover can fit in, so that we are able to fly out there. And let me just see. Okay, we do have enough air intake. And yeah, we are now really speeding up. This thing is really powerful. We are already at an altitude of 15 kilometers. And these new air intakes, I'm using these, how they're called, these shock cone intakes. They are really great for high altitude flights. This is just amazing. And okay, we are now really fast, so we are fighting against the atmosphere. We are compressing the atmosphere in front of our airplane. And by compressing it, we are heating up the atmosphere, and that's why we are now experiencing re-entry effects. And wow, this is crazy. And look at our velocity. Our cruising velocity is just crazy. And okay, now we are flying out. Where are we? Okay, it's quite a distance to fly out there. But I think this is really a cool mission, and I like it a lot. And I like also a lot that we are able to, or that we were able to deploy our payload, and we are at 20 kilometers, and we have already our cruising or velocity of about 1,500 meters per second. Wow, this is crazy. And we do have enough air intake, so we could even ascend a bit more. This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay, it's still a long way to go. It's still a long way to go. So I think I will just do a short time lapse, and I will bring you back in once we are getting closer to our river we want to explore. So yeah, enjoy the ride. Okay, we have reached the mountain range. This is a mountain range with a river, and somewhere over there at the end there is the place. And I think over there we can already see the river. The river is just over there. So, and look at our velocity. We are flying at a velocity of 1,642 meters per second. So this is really fast. This is great. And I think we should start our descent pretty soon. So I'll let us get a little bit closer, and yeah, I think we should now start our descent. So let me throttle down, and then we will descend down and start exploring this river. Okay, there is the river, there's the river, there we can see the beautiful canyon. Let me just make a slight turn to the left, because we are quite fast, we are quite high, and we need now to lose a lot of velocity. We need to lose a lot of altitude, and down there is the beginning of the river. So my main idea is now to make a turn and to come around and to start following this river. So, okay, we are going straight down. This is great, and it's great to see this river, and wow, this is cool to see already the shape of the river, and it was already great as we were flying across this river as we returned with one of our interplanetary missions, and now it's even more interesting to follow this river. And yeah, you see it takes us a lot of time to slow down and to descend. We are still quite fast, but we should be able to. We have lost already half our velocity. This is good. Okay, now things start to happen. This is good. This is really good. Okay, we have lost most of our velocity. This is good. And now, let me turn around a bit more. Okay, I think I can now throttle up just a bit. And we still need to descend quite a bit. Okay, the turning radius and everything takes some time. I should have started the descent a little bit earlier. But nevertheless, I think we are now on a good trajectory and we are on a good route to explore this river and to follow this river. And I think this will be really special to fly through the valleys of the mountains. And okay. Now we should be about to approach our target area. Now I can throttle way up. And the good thing is that this airplane is really powerful with these two engines, and that it has a great performance, so we are able to follow the shape of this mountain range, hopefully without any issues. I just need now to find the right spot where I need to turn around, that I can start following the river. I hope I'm not missing it. And let me just send just a tiny bit. Let me just check. Okay, we are over here, and yeah, in the small flat area over there we are approaching, so maybe this one. Maybe over here is the beginning of the river. I like to explore. So, okay, let us now throttle a bit down for our descent. Okay, now we are starting to approach our target area. Okay, we are now the altitude of the mountain range. Now, things really get exciting. Now, it's about flying very, very precise and reacting to the surroundings. We even can see some ground scatter on the surface. This is cool. Okay, now we can start exploring this valley. It would be also a nice idea or a nice position to deploy our probe down here, but at first I wanted to be sure, so I deployed this probe at the Kerbal Space Center, and I think this was the better decision. Okay, there is the river, so we need now to make a sharp turn. Okay, we are now approaching the river, and there is the river. So let us descend down this valley. Okay. Ooh. We are now flying next to the mountains. Wow, this is an interesting and exciting view. This is great. Okay, we are now following the shape of the landscape, and we are now exploring the river. This was great. I need to review the footage I saw as I approached, but this is also pretty special following now. This is here really a deep part. This is a deep part of the water. Okay. Now, following this path. This is great. definitely great. Okay. Good that we have not such a huge wingspan, otherwise we would get stuck inside this canyon. That would be bad. Okay. I think we can even descend down a little bit more. Okay, we are really close to the surface. And now let's follow around this way. Okay. Okay, there's some ground scatter even underwater. This is cool. Okay, there's a slight elevation. And there's the river once again. This is cool. Okay, okay. This is exciting. And well, this is not so much about building something. Like I said, the building season, this is just having fun and exploring the landscape. And well, this is also a thing I really like in Kerbal Space Program, that you just can say, okay, I just like to fly here very, very, very low across the landscape and just enjoy the great shape of Kerbin and the great view. And this is also pretty cool. So yeah, this is really amazing. Now let me stick to the river. And well, we have a nice view back. And keep in mind that we are all the time below the elevations, or below the peak, so we are flying inside the valley of the river. And wow, this is really great. Okay, now we are following this way around. Can we go down even a bit more? Think so. Okay. We are now very close to the river. This is great. This is really great. What is the interior view? Wow, 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 wow. This is exciting. This is definitely exciting. Good. Okay, and look at the radar altimeter. We are 150 meters above the water. So this is very low. This is definitely low. Okay. We are 200 meters above the water. Okay. Now we are flying 100 meters above the water, so below 100 meters. This is close. Ooh. Oh, look at this. We need to make sure that while we are doing our turn, that we are not hitting the water with our wing. This would be bad. With the tip of our wing. Okay, there is the next canyon coming up. This is great. Let me just switch. No. I said, let me switch to the interior view. Ooh, the mountains, the mountains. This is great. It said that this is not generating any signs or so. This would be really great, like having a research flight pretty close to the water or so, or exploring a certain feature of the landscape of Kerbin or so, that this would generate some signs or so. This would be really amazing. Okay, and now we are getting in the wider areas of the river. Now it's already quite far away from the mountain region. Okay, very good. Let me have a short view. We are over here. So it's still a quite way and still a longer distance to fly or to follow this river. And well, I am a little bit concerned about the liquid fuel. We have used almost 2/3 of our fuel. So we need to fly back, and we need to be able to have a safe landing at the Kerbal Space Center at our runway where we just started. So I think, okay, I think at 200 units of liquid fuel, we should start ascending once again and start our flight back home to Kerbal Space Center, because I do not want to run out of fuel and I do not like to land out here. I like to return back home to Kerbal Space Center. So, although this plane is pretty powerful, it has also a very high fuel consumption. And yeah, maybe I should exchange some of the fuel tanks, because I'm also carrying some oxidizer around I'm not using. Okay, now we need now to start ascending. We need to climb to higher altitudes to gain some speed. We can't finish our tour along the river, but I think we have seen the most spectacular parts. Over there is still some canyon-like parts, but over there the river gets wider and wider and broader, and so it's not so spectacular as the beginning, as we descended into this canyon of the river and we followed this river as we were at the beginning. So now it's a good time to start returning. And okay, I think I need to turn a little bit more to the left to find my way back home. So we can now, on our return flight, enjoy once again the beautiful river. So we have started our ascent somewhere over here, and we were following this river from the mountain region over here along this river to there. Well, this was really a spectacular flight. I enjoyed this a lot. And now we're coming to higher altitudes, and our fuel consumption has reduced. This is also nice. Now let me start to speed up and to level up our flight. Okay, and now the return flight back to Kerbal Space Center has started. So in this case, while I'm gaining speed, while I start to compress the air in front of me and the atmosphere in front of me, and I start to heat up, so that, yeah, we are once again in the re-entry effects, I think it's a time for another time-lapse for the return flight. And well, look at our altitude, look at our velocity. This is a great airplane. I think this thing could be even able to insert itself once again into an orbit or space like the previous construction or my previous airplane. And yeah, now I'm a little bit silent as I am doing the time warp or the time lapse, and yeah, then I will bring you back in once we are on our final approach to Kerbal Space Center. Okay, I just started the descent process. Over there is Kerbal Space Center, so we have already the Space Center inside. Somewhere down there is the runway, and down there is the small island with a second runway. And well, I think I started my descent a little bit too late, like as I did the approach to the mountain range a little bit too late. But now I think we are still in a good shape. Let me just see. Well, our fuel is going down quite fast. This is really exciting. I hope we are able to return back home. I hope we are able to do this. I think it will be, it's more or less a landing on the last drops of fuel. Let me just throttle down even more to reduce our fuel consumption and to expedite just a little bit our descent rate. And okay, I need also to fly a slight turn in order that I'm not missing the Kerbal Space Center. And here, I think we are starting to get to a to a better flight, because during the high velocity flight we are not really able to change our direction, and once we are up to speed it's pretty hard to really change the direction by a significant degree, and so it's important to slow down. Okay, now we are in a better condition. Down there is the second runway. In case that we would run out of fuel, we could descend down there. But I think we are on a good shape, so we can now fly over to the Kerbal Space Center and hopefully have a nice gentle landing over there. And I think I'm really enjoying this. I'm smiling the whole time. This is cool, this is cool. And yeah, so we are now on the approach, well, not really the final approach, but we are on our return flight, and it was a wise decision to start our return flight, because when I am now looking at the fuel we have left over, this is really close. It was good that I decided to return back home, otherwise we might have needed to land on the water, and this is always dangerous. So yeah, this is good, this is really good. And according to our space probe, our landing thing we've deployed, we are only 25 kilometers away. This is good. This is definitely good. And I think I can now throttle down a bit more, and I can start descending. Okay, we have enough fuel for a good landing. This is good. Okay, only 20 kilometers and approaching. I hope everything will work out well, and I hope I'm not destroying my aircraft on the final moment of the landing. And yeah, so this is cool, and well, I think the first episode of the building session was a success. We did a great expedition out to the river. We followed this canyon. We explored a little bit the canyon, or a feature of the landscape of Kerbin, and this is always pretty cool. And I have introduced you to my plans for the third season of my Let's Play series. And well, yeah, now it's time to get started and to do some more exciting stuff. And I've already prepared something for the next episode, and well, it's not a delivery of some parts to the asteroid currently in orbit around the moon, but it's still a nice and interesting thing I like to perform, and I hope you are also amazed by this. And well, yeah, so let me now finish off this episode with a good landing, hopefully. We need to descend a bit more. We are on a good approach. What about our fuel? Yeah, with the low thrust, everything is okay. So it's no problem at all to return now back home. But still, our fuel tanks are pretty empty after this flight. And yeah, so it was really a wise decision to return back home. And okay, now we are approaching the runway. Well, not really the runway, but we are starting to... we can start preparing our final approach. Our descent rate is still pretty fast, but we are still also quite high. We need to descend down a bit. And okay, now let me start flare up a bit the nose and reduce our descent rate. Okay, and also slow down. This is good. Now we need to turn around, and we can deploy our landing gear. Very good, very good. Okay. Now let me turn around. We are just a bit high, and our descent rate is also a bit high, but I think... okay, let me now throttle down. Okay, we are just gliding. We are just gliding. We are a bit fast, but I think everything's okay. Let me play up the nose a bit. Okay. Now, just a few meters, and we returned. We returned. Now let me brake. Brake, 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 brake. And can we? Oh, we missed it just a little bit. So let me turn around. And yeah, it was a success. Our probe over there is also standing by. The landing was a success. This is great. This is great. So this wraps up the first episode of season 3. And I hope you like this, and I hope you will be joining me in the next episode when we are returning back to space. And yeah, so I hope you like this, and I hope you will be joining me. Until next time, my name is Debbie. See you.